Hey, how's it going? How y'all been? How you doing? How you doing? Been a while since I seen you. Welcome to this edition of Lawn Care for Life. We're coming straight at you from the Mojave Desert. Or might as well be. Really, it's central Indiana, but it's like the Mojave Desert. I'm pretty much doing nothing but mowing buckhorn and that blue flower that grows, wildflower, the big straight nasty green stem that like dulls your blades. And let me tell you, that buckhorn is, boy, it's a hell on the blades too. I'll be glad when that's shit, but that's the only thing growing. So yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I'm scrambling. Saved a lot of hedge jobs, mulch, well, I pretty much got most of my mulch jobs done, but some dressing, some light overdressing, some light dressing jobs, mulch jobs. Hitting the hedges hard, and of course that always sucks now that it's freaking 110 degrees heat index. I mean, it's literally so hot that I think Satan has called into work the last 2 weeks and taken off because it's too hot for him. That's how hot it is. Anyways, so that's the reason why when it's early season and grass is growing, I always want to stash a little back. I always want to try to put a little back for these dry days. And well, now it's 1st of August, but all of July has pretty much been pretty dry. Slowed way down here. Had a great spring, but like I said earlier in my vlogs this spring, we were a month ahead, so you know, it caught up with us here in Indiana. And that's okay. And it's not that everything is just totally brown. It's just not, we're getting just enough rain to basically, well, I don't know, there's some places it just depends on where it's at. Like, I'll show you out across. Now, our cornfields and our crops are absolutely busting at the seams. We are going to have a bumper crop, I think, this year. If we continue to get some rains here. But, and you know, it looks deceiving. You're like, oh, well, it's not that brown by here, but the, you can see this yard here and this guy here. That's brown. And, it's not good. It's not good. So, like I say, now I'm hitting all my hedges and just freaking getting hot and miserable and doing what I can do to stay alive and praying for rain, doing my rain dances, and I'm getting pretty good at the rain dances. I got a couple sweet outfits I put on and get out and bounce around in the middle of the driveway and in the backyard, and neighbors think I'm crazy and kids embarrassed of me. But I mean, it worked for the Indians, so I figured what the heck, give it a shot. But anyways, I'm gonna take you by a couple yards I did yesterday and show you how dry. I mean, it's almost, I'm embarrassed to film, and I don't know if I may set the camera up a little bit and film a little yard today, but it's dry, and I'm pretty much calling the customers and getting permission and asking not to just, I don't want to just burn them up, but would you like me to mow? And most of them, yes, go ahead and mow this week, just some of them, well, let's wait, you know. So but I think it's good to call them before you just go trumping on there and it really doesn't need it. Because you can do a lot of damage to your yard when it's hot and you just keep burning it up. So if you guys notice my striper on my roller, or on my striper on my mower, it's a big league lawn striper, and it's basically just a big roller, heavy. This thing weighs like 75 pounds. It's heavy duty, and it mounts on the back of my mower, and it pivots. It doesn't pivot, it just goes up and down with the contour of the ground, but it of course puts the stripe down, which I love my stripe. But I took it off because it's literally, some of my yards is so dry, it's just breaking the grass. I mean, it's just literally, it's not good on them. So those guys with and even the rollers right behind the deck, that they take their wheels, their bogey wheels behind the deck, scalp wheels, and put those rollers behind them. You gotta watch. You gotta watch. So, here's my buddy old Ron Pascal. Hey, Ron. Oh, Ron. But anyways, there's my buddy Ron Beard's house. He keeps his yard watered. And those guys that keep them watered, you're all right. You're not in too bad a shape, but I'll show you. And this is the bad thing. This is what's... Holy. Oh my gosh. That sucked. And it's only like 10 o'clock in the morning, 9:30. In this yard, I only mowed half of it. But I did a lot of trimming. So I won't be back. I won't have to trim for probably the next 3 weeks, so it'll be just quick. He told me, he's like, as long as you see it, because they water their flowers a lot of people will. Get my little booklet out. And this is the blank residence. See my little sheets. Then when I mow them, I just write the date when I mowed. Then when they send me a check, it's just a double. This is I call it my hard copies, my manual. Then I go home and of course I use Yardbuck. And he paid me today. These people are always real good. Every second mow, they have me a check on the front porch. Johnny on the spot, never ask. Great customers. They get it. You know how some customers don't get lawn care. And he's like, look, if you see tall straggly spots, and because I water here and there, and he said, just come and mow it. Man, he's got a little garden that I trim around. I do a little extra weed eating for him, so that's all good. And yeah, so that's kind of a little thing. I just got this little, and I've got my receipt book with it. I carry anytime that I do all my billing and invoicing online. But I started out a couple years ago, and I just ran off these little books like this with copies, and I'd write out their stuff and just hand mail it, and it worked just fine. Worked absolutely fine. And sometimes with this Yardbuck thing, I'm noticing people pay with their credit card, and it's like they say, oh, your first transaction takes 6 days, which was like 10 days before it actually hit my account. And then after that they say, it'll be there in 2 days now. No, we got everything set up. It's 2 days. Yeah, bullshit. It's not. It's like, and especially They don't transfer their stuff till like on a Tuesday. So no matter when you put it in, if you put it in on Thursday, it won't be there Monday. It won't be there Saturday. It'll be there on Tuesday. They dump. So it's like they trick you in to use it, which it is a form of payment. And if somebody's not around, you know it's coming. But at the same time, it can get to be a little annoying. What's today's date? Fill up my check. We'll stop by the bank. Give you something to drink. August 3rd. Oh, I missed a call. Mom. Okay. Wish you dirge. So, 8316. We'll go ahead and deposit this little sucker. And I'm by my bank like a million times a day and around my town, so anytime I get a check, I went in, I just got a whole handful of their little deposit tickets. I just write my account number on. Anytime I get a check or cash, I just stop by and throw it in instead of, I know I should probably wait and do it all at once, but I don't. So, away she dirts, boys and girls. Okay, here we'll get a little sun to that yard real quick. There it is. And it's dry. Doesn't look too bad from this angle. We see back up around where he waters his bushes. That'll grow tall down along that fence. Back up in there and stuff, but anyways, yeah, it's just dry as a popcorn fart, boys. But you know, staying alive, doing what you can do, and I suggest everybody. I mowed mine. I don't know, and I've probably said this before. I started out mowing all my stuff at 3, 7, 5, 4 inches. Especially springtime, I'm at 4 inches on pretty much everything, and I keep it that way as long as I can for reasons like this. So today, last week I didn't drop my deck, and I mowed, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not even discharging anything. This isn't, you know, not, if they're watching, they're like, well, you're not mowing anything. It's just, yeah. And it's not good to do that. I think when it gets dry like this, I like to bring my levels down, bring my grass levels down, so when the rain does hit, you don't have to, you know, that big tall with, it's easier on the grass to trim it back so it doesn't have that much to nourish and use the water when your rains are sparse. So now I'm starting to cut my levels back and still can keep a consistent mow. You know, I went from a 7-day schedule in some early spring on a 4 or 5-day schedule. Now all my yards are at probably a 9-day schedule, every 9 days. I got some that's out to 2 weeks, 14-day, but I try to keep them I try to keep everything within at least a 10 to 12-day rotation, so I don't get too far out. But that's the way it is, and that's the way we do it here at New Image Lawn Care. So from the Mojave Desert, wishing you all out there in the rest of this country lots of rain, and some of you that's getting flooded out, I hope you can send a load out our way, because we sure could use it here in central Indiana. So anyways, I hope things out there in mowing world is a little better than it is around here. It's pretty dry, and but everybody keep doing what you're doing. I'll keep doing what I'm doing, and that's just that, and the way she does and the way she goes. Snow pipe. Like they say, thanks for tuning in. Until tomorrow, keep your blade sharp and your deck clean. Have a good one.